Not someone I was dating, a friend of mine's girlfriend. She turned to him and asked, "Are the Olympics like a competition?" I asked her earnestly what she thought the Olympics were. She said, "I don't know, I thought it was just like, look what these people can do." Now look, we've done similar things before, yeah? We've studied stupid classmates, stupid co-workers not long ago at all. I feel the need to preface this one by saying I'm sure these Redditors don't actually think their significant others are stupid. It's just that when you fall in love with someone and start spending all your time with them, little things slide out that you're not expecting. I love my other half with all my heart. Yet, when we met, she thought it was Morgan Freeman that played Marty McFly in the Back to the Future films, and then if you shred a bit of paper, she thought if you put it back in again, it would all stick back together. If you ask her, she probably says, you know, I've done some stupid things. I mean, obviously, I've actually never done anything stupid, so I don't know what she'd say, actually. Watching a wildlife documentary and my girlfriend asked me if bears laid eggs. My husband thought people whistled when they set off fireworks. He didn't realise the fireworks themselves whistles. She thought Vietnam was a planet in Star Wars. I love my husband, but I've watched him empty a vacuum cleaner bag into a wire wastebasket. Wife sent me screenshots to try and show me that her iPhone screen had cracked. I told him I liked daffodils, and after a pause, he said, "That's an animal, right?" As we were driving along the road, we saw a horse with its head over a gate. We slowed down, she opens the window and says, "Moo." X thought drinking through a straw made him look gay. One time, I showed my wife a David Blaine Netflix special. She asked, and I quote, "Now, is this real magic, or just like magic tricks?" He burned ramen noodles on the stove because he forgot to put water in the pot. Twice. Had a girlfriend who thought that the Magna Carta was the first credit card. Oh god, we were 16. And he absolutely did not believe in the ocean. He said the government paid people say they surfed and things to convince people the ocean was real. What? She tried to argue that we could get to the moon easier if we just built a spaceship that could go underwater and flew it through the ocean to the moon during the daytime rather than straight up. What? When he insisted that kiwis, the animals, were the same as kiwis fruits. He found this photo and just wouldn't believe that it wasn't real. Just wow. When she insisted that Kim Jong-un was the leader of North Carolina. When I mentioned I was on my period, he asked what my favourite flavour of tampons are. He genuinely thought the colours on the tampon packs were flavours and that it would soak into my blood while inside and I'd eventually taste it. When she pointed up at a bluish star and sincerely asked, "Is that Earth?" What a strange, surreal question. I get vertigo from even reading that. While travelling in the car during Remembrance Day, my ex once asked me to turn the radio up so she could hear the minute silence better. An ex thought that commercials were recorded live and the people on TV were employed to do them over and over again. My ex-girlfriend told me she had a flat tyre. That's weird. What's weird? Well, it's only flat on the bottom. Preheats the microwave. I caught her once with a butter knife in the toaster to warm it. Asked him what event resulted in World War I. His response was 9/11. He was serious. She thinks that north is always uphill, so prefers to walk south. I introduced him to my stepsister. He said, "Weird, you guys look nothing alike." We were driving one day and were stopped at a red light. What a dumb name for a street. What street? Bone Marrow Drive. Who'd name a street Bone Marrow Drive? Yeah, it's a sign for a local Bone Marrow Drive that'll be taking place, not the name of the street. I got into an argument with him and I told him he was being condescending and he told me, "Right, I don't know what that means, but I am not being it." Ugh, he was so pretty, yet so dumb. We bought a new car. She asked me if I changed the settings to Spanish because it said, "Ayah," on the dash when the door was open. Ex now, but one time we were talking about changes in taste preferences when she said taste bugs. She had thought that taste buds was taste bugs her entire life up until that moment. Dodged a dating bullet. He insisted the dog breed is pronounced a German Shepherd. Buck of the fine shepherd. My girlfriend pronounced placebo placebo. This was my reaction. Didn't know what a clitoris was. Called it Fanny Bean. She genuinely, through Barack Obama's name, was Black Obama. We were playing a video game and he said, "Let's go kill those ogres over there." I was like, "What? You mean ogres?" And he replied, "Yes, but it's pronounced I'm an ogre." One time she called Kermit the Frog, Hermit the Crab. He quoted Limp Bizkit to me during an argument. He didn't mean it ironically. For the record, he thought he was mucho cool. I gotta know what the quote was. You're really fucking whining me. I'm talking about the he said, she said, bullshit! Can you eat peanut butter Oreos, or will you go into intergalactic shock? Are you dating a Beastie Boy? He thought you absorb a gallon of water when you shower, so he didn't need to drink water. Were you dating SpongeBob? Posted this before, but my favourite brain fart moment was when she came into the bathroom crying to tell me she'd just swallowed her wedding ring. And 4 other rings. She took them off while painting and put them in a shot glass on the counter for safekeeping. The next morning she went to take her pills, which she also keeps in a shot glass on the counter. On the plus side, anytime she asks to go into a jewellery store, I get to reply, why, are you hungry? He was getting his licence renewed and they asked him if he wanted to be an organ donor. He said no. When I asked why, he told me it was because he didn't want the government to come knocking for any of his organs when he still needed them. He really thought that becoming an organ donor meant that at any time his organs could be taken. Nothing too dumb. I have a fan with different settings labelled LMH for how fast the fan spins, your low, medium, high. She was looking at it and told me she set the fan to large. Girl I was seeing asked if potatoes grew on trees like grapes. Grapes don't grow on trees. I leaned in to kiss my GF after a couple sex. She said, those people are staring at us. I looked over and yeah, it was our reflection. She was visibly upset, tears and quiet sobs while we were watching District 9. She turns to me and whispers, when did this happen? One of my exes was bawling when we watched Cloverfield because she thought it actually happened. She thought the movie The Martian was not only a true story, but that Matt fucking Damon was actually on Mars. Back when we were first living together, my husband, BF at the time, decided it was a great idea to get rid of a wasp chilling on our blinds by dousing it in lighter fluid and setting it on fire. When he gorilla glued his bathroom door shut to see if he could break it down. He couldn't. We were out having a few drinks. He said his tooth hurt. He just pulled it straight out of his mouth. Tried to buy a perpetual motion machine for $200 when he split open the gas tank on our car, mounting a curb. Well, that's only an accident, and instead of dealing with it, parked the car in a closed parking garage of our apartment building, filmed the gas spewing out and posted it on TikTok. I took my boyfriend out for his first far. There was a huge slice of jalapeno that he ate all in one bite. His pizza-based taste buds were not accustomed and he wept over his bowl for a good while. He thought the jalapeno was a cucumber. I believe the word is taste bugs. Nice! Throwback! What is this? A crossover episode? 10,000 comments deep and nobody will ever see this, but hey, I see all! Back in the early 1990s, after a spate of highly publicised deaths due to carbon monoxide poisoning, I bought a CO detector for the bedroom. After I plugged it in, she told me to move it to the other end of the house because, and I quote, I don't want that thing beeping and waking me up if the alarm goes off. I see all. I see. I see. My wife, a medical professional, once asked me why men even have belly buttons. I dated a firefighter who didn't know alcohol was flammable. Is that an albino duck? That's a dove. Ex-girlfriend, we'd just started dating and she was turning 29 on the 29th of April. I said, hey, that's funny, 29 on the 29th. She proceeded to ask if that meant she would turn 30 on the 30th. My ex once claimed that avocados were a kind of fish, that the past was black and white. She asked me if lightning was alive. They thought Egyptian people were, well, it's a myth, isn't it? She asked if it was still called an eclipse when the sun passes between Earth and the moon. That's called the apocalypse. I was a vegetarian when we were dating. Pretty early on, he asked if I ate fish. I said, no, I don't eat any animals. To which he replied, a fish isn't an animal, it's a mammal. I've never seen so many mistakes crammed into one conversation. He grabbed a Baby Bell cheese wheel, and then I heard him say, oh, this is gross. I look over at him to see if it was mouldy or something, and I see he's taken a bite out of it with the red wax coating still on. My husband is incredibly smart, highly educated, a clever man. He also was eating an entire muffin with the paper on. He told me he ate a pine cone once because he was dared to. Obviously, I'm not actually going to eat a pine cone. Yes, I'm going to do it. Obviously, I'm going to do it. I'm joking. I don't really know how to... I love that man more than anything. He sent me a text that simply said, I loathe you. When I got defensive and upset, he was terribly confused. He thought loathe means to really love someone. Such a sweet dumbass. I love my girlfriend to the moon and back, but she thought if she got a tattoo, her baby would come out with that same tattoo in the same spot she got it. Every time he grabbed something out of the oven without a mitten. Oh, but he's my idiot. analog heart emoji. My girlfriend thought leg day was a national holiday. About to propose to her, actually. Redditors Safety Otter knew their partner was an idiot when I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. You see, in most cases, true love comes out on top, especially as I said at the start, you're not always necessarily the most intelligent one in a relationship. I used to wear clothes of many colours until my parents died when I was 9 and I started to wear only black. Me. Oh, like Batman. On rare occasions, though, tragically, it can cause relationships to drift apart. He talked about minions too much. Spam me with minions content, redirect every single conversation to be about minions. After having a particularly bad day, I posted a sincere Facebook post about it as a means to reach out to some loved ones, and he responded with simply minions! Oh no, that's despicable.